What is happening, y'all? Welcome back. Let's go. We're gonna ascend. We're gonna give the incense. We're gonna whoop some booty. You can skip your monologue, bro. I don't care. I skipped going to the gym to be here. I mean, to be fair, I'm just gonna go in the morning, but you can't be this close to the end of the game and be like, all right, I'm gonna go to the gym, not knock this out. Shit. Gotta use this way more. How about another one? So yeah, the dodge timing is slightly different. Die. Summa Blasphema. Beat the devocation Incarnate. Yeah, he ain't so big now. Like a weird little naked dude.
Doth thou respond to my pleas with pain? Pain in the flesh. Yet your very flesh I am. Pain in the heart. Yet your heart itself I hold. My punishment will be your sole legacy. And I shall die. I shall die reconciled with the mystery of my birth.
The devotion of the many was made incarnate, and suffered pain. The affliction cometh to an end, for the icon falls, and with it, the miracle's designs, and its will so capricious. And so you shall ascend, both in body and soul, through dreamed kingdoms, to the holiest of places. to the cradle of all blessings, safe under our watchful eyes. And once there, you will be captured within the ancient canvas of light and time. The penitence is thus complete.
Huh. It's a, I guess it's a happy ending? I don't know. Like, you get to go to heaven? Ascend or something? Very much the kind of ending that doesn't really give you a setup for, a second game. Oh, everyone lives happily ever after. You go up to heaven and, yeah, things are cool. Yeah, okay. Called it, though. 2 attempt boss. It's cool how you could go back and get the shit to get the second ending, though. I like when games do that. I guess the incense makes the envoys pick me up. They're like, you smell good. Come to us. Getting a lot of unnecessary hits right now. Yeah, you just gotta, your dodge frames start. Damn, dude. This is fucking him up. Actually, I think this phase is just best dodged. Oh, shit. Oh. Second kill, let's go. And that was even faster. Just the amount of oomph that sword puts out once you get the blood pact going is pretty nutty.
Now I understand. And for this, I offer thee my humble thanks. This pain is my baptismal sacrament that will unite us in communion to make it flesh. Thus, we will be reborn as a new symbol incarnate, overflowing with devotion. The beginning of a new era for the miracle. The second Psalm.
So in this one, we do the Dragon Ball Fusion dance and become one. Interesting. Well, let's talk about the game. So in terms of gameplay, huge improvement over the last Blasphemous. A lot of things that were very simple, but big changes that I liked a lot. The fact that you didn't die instantly to spikes, you didn't die falling off the map, so you could like, you know, hey, does this drop down? No, it doesn't. Great, okay, I'm not instantly dead. The 3-weapon thing, really liked that. On top of that, adding the fact that we had basically an ultimate, and then on top of that, like a quick use spell. So some good variety in gameplay, which I think is important. You don't need a ton of variety in a Metroidvania game like this, but you need enough to keep the player interested. And I think they did a really good job there. You know, I started off, I was very much like, yeah, my hammer, this hammer is life, and then started dabbling a little bit more in the blade and was like, oh, I like the parry, and then was like, oh, wait, Blood Pact, what's this? Oh, it buffs up and I do a bunch of damage, and I, you know, take some health, but I can heal back up as I'm doing damage, and that was a loop that really stuck with me. And even then, with the Verdicto, I didn't do it as much, because, I mean, endgame, it probably would have been a lot better with how much fervor I had, but being able to enchant it with fire and punch out a bunch of damage. I mean, that's probably how you're supposed to primarily use that weapon. It's just dunk on stuff with the fire amplification buff on it, and let that just drain through your fervor while you're just like boom, 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 boom. Obviously, it didn't do much with the daggers at all, but I know they get like lightning enchant or something. Honestly, the speed of them, it didn't appeal to me, which is rare. Usually I'm a big fan of speedy stuff, at least in theory. But here, I just, you know, just didn't have the slightest inclination to use them. That doesn't mean they're bad, it just means it wasn't for me. In terms of the levels and exploration, I like the world a lot. I think there could be just a little bit more in terms of teleport points, like, because there were a couple points when I was hunting my cherubs where I had to like teleport and then run for like 2 or 3 minutes to get there. Like, there are probably 2 more points I think a teleport would have been useful, but it wasn't terrible. It just definitely, I think, could have been a little bit better with a couple of those. And kind of on that note, I do feel like I spent a lot of time going back and re-exploring, you know, because it was like, oh, hey, now you have this ability. Oh, hey, now you have this ability. Oh, hey, now you have this ability. And I get it. That's the name of the game. That's how these games work. But, you know, I couldn't help myself, so I'd like go to an area, be like, oh, I can go past the dodge thing. Great, I did it. Oh, I can go back now and I can get past this. Great, I did it. Oh, hey, now I have the thingy. I can go back and do it. And, like, realistically, I should have just waited, had my stuff, and then gone through basically the whole map getting treasures. But, you know, I would have been missing out on upgrades and all sorts of other stuff. I couldn't bring myself to do it. But, I don't know. Maybe if we had just gotten the abilities a pinch sooner, I don't know. We got double jump pretty fast, and the dash. It took a while before we had the cherub assist. So that definitely threw me off. The map I really would have liked a little mini map. That would have been nice just for when I was trying to get to like certain areas to hunt down stuff. Just a little semi-transparent mini map up in the corner would have been very nice. But I did like that we could mark stuff on the map. That was super helpful with me, you know, marking stuff and knowing where to come back, especially early on when I didn't have my ability unlocks. It helped to know where I needed to revisit to find certain stuff. You know, so very nice job there. For the most part, the quests were pretty obscure, pretty much what you'd expect for a game like this. A couple kind of threw me off, like depending on if you interact with like the old lady or the man, you get a different thing, and then finding out later that I can buy the other one, it was like, oh, okay, well that's nice. But some of them I wasn't as clear on what to do. Like, I know there were a couple I didn't end up doing, like the one finding the poem and the letters. I mean, no fucking clue. You know, I wouldn't have probably figured that out without spending like hours at it, which I wasn't willing to do. But you know, I think games like this, like, you know, obviously I make walkthroughs, so I get it. But it's you know, you get towards the end and you're like, all right, I want to clean this up. What have I missed? And being able to just look up and find stuff is very nice. Though I do think it would have been not necessarily a quest log, but just tracking, you know, more key items. I think, like how we had the cherub tracking, it would have been nice if it was like, oh, you have 5 of the 6 wax seeds, or oh, you have, I mean, I guess you could count your wax seeds manually, but some of the stuff, you know, like finding the whisper ladies, finding the candles to put out, like knowing how many more I'm still missing. Just a sheet somewhere, I think would have been nice to have, because a lot of that I just, you know, either I'm writing down the notes myself or I'm not remembering. But overall, I liked it. Music was pretty good. There was that one weird part where our music completely cut out and then it just like popped back on. I'm not sure what that was all about, but music was pretty good here. I wouldn't say there was any one boss theme that like blew me away. In terms of boss fights, the second to last boss, that was a pretty good challenge, especially that phase where he pulls in multiple bosses. That was pretty intense. But I still think my favorite boss was probably where you fight Big Dude and then you fight the baby and then you fight him together. I don't know. It's such a simple concept, but I really enjoyed that, because after that it was a lot of like single phase bosses, you know, and a lot of time it was like, boom, got it, you're down, boom, got it, you're down, boom, got it, you're down. And that was one that threw me for a loop a little bit. So I liked that one a lot. Second to last boss I liked a lot. I think hardest boss for me was probably the dude out by the lake. The one that killed me on my first attempt at the boss when he summoned his shadow clone of him. That guy beat my ass so much, man. Did not like him. Ugh, I did not like him at all. But overall, I had a lot of fun with the bosses. The patterns weren't too crazy. They were pretty easy to pick up, I will say, but the damage the bosses were putting out was no joke, so even knowing the patterns, you had to be very strict in following them. You couldn't make mistakes. Yeah, I mean, visually, very beautiful game. Pretty distinct in the different environments and backdrops we got to do. Enemy variety seemed all right. You know, we got to see a couple enemies got reused quite a bit. You know, the big hammer guys, for example. But I think there was decent enough enemy variety that I didn't get bored while I was playing it. But overall, I mean, I would say this was an absolute excellent roguelike. I would put this at like a 5 out of 5. This is very solid. I have, you know, incredibly minuscule gripes about it, like wanting a translucent minimap, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing that's like innately wrong with this game. This is just a very, very solid experience, wrapping up right around 19 hours at 91% completion. It's not bad. I think what did I pick this up for? Let's go to Steam, let's go to the store. The store, it's on sale right now, but it was $30 and I got 20 hours out of it, so I'd say that's a good price to play ratio as well. But yeah, this was fun. I'm glad, more than anything, I'm glad that I actually like waited to play it, because trying to shove this in when it came out in August, like sandwiched between Baldur's Gate, Starfield, and Armored Core, and everything else, I don't think I would have been able to like enjoy it. I definitely wouldn't have gone through like hunting down all the cherubs to try and get the hidden ending and you know, Waxman quest and all that. I would have just kind of punched through it, I think. So it was fun to have, you know, a slower season where I could sit and chill and have a good time with it. So either way, the next series that is coming up is going to be The Last Faith, another Metroidvania. It's been described as a mix between Bloodborne and Castlevania, so it should be pretty fun to jump into. A little less religious type design and a little more dark, gothic, broody, but it'll be fun regardless. Either way, thanks for coming on by. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the playthrough of Blasphemous 2, and I'll catch you soon with our next game.